Hey everybody, this is Mike, and welcome to Session 11 of Heart of the Empire. Uh, this game is brought to you by the Tides of Change role-playing game club. Check them out on Facebook. Tides of Change is a really cool type of club where we play exclusively Fantasy Flight games, Star Wars, like this one. And also, one of the interesting aspects of it is that you get the opportunity to vote on the an entire different way. The whole game can go on a totally different tangent based on the player's suggestions. And you vote, and then we get to it, and all my prep means nothing. Hey, not that I'm a prep heavy DM or anything. So we did start a little bit late, but let's jump right to it. Let's get some introductions going. We'll give a quick recap, and then we'll head right into session 11. So I'll just go from my left to my right. Devin, if you could introduce yourself, your character, and plug all your particulars.
Yeah, hello everyone. I'm Dev from the YouTube channel What the Dice, and I'm playing Kojima Hajima, the Weequay Saboteur. It's great to be back with my Heart of the Empire crew and our awesome GM here, and I'm looking forward to see why my brother Akrab is shooting at me. So hopefully we'll find out about that later.
Right on. All right. Next up, we have John. John.
Hi, I'm John from Red Dice Diaries, and I'll be playing Celine Naval, the Quarren pilot. Having strange visions at the minute, looking forward to see how those pan out.
Cool. Thank you very much. And of course, last but not least, we have Dennis. Dennis, you can introduce yourself, character, and plug all your stuff.
Hey, I'm Dennis. Nothing to plug other than OSG and Tides of Change. Check him out on Facebook. I am playing Varric Marr, aka the Prime, an assassin that is in the enemy of my enemy is my friend situation, and he has a grudge with the Empire, so he finds himself hooked up with the rebellion.
Excellent. And of course, it's great to have these guys in for another session. Now, unfortunately, we are down one player, but I'm sure that'll be okay, unless they all die, and then Gabe's gonna feel really bad about it. But that's okay. I'm sure that's not gonna happen. Maybe. So just a quick recap. The players, having taken a Gallifrey armored transport for themselves, made their way to the planet of Raltir to find out where the second part of these special implants that this clandestine Imperial agency known as Unit 88 has, which has found a way to control the very minds, almost hooking them in like computers and being able to take control of rebel leaders and seemingly innocent civilians at whim. The second part of this implant rests solely on Raltir with the actual software, the computer programming that allows Unit 88 to control any one of these individuals. Having arrived at the planet, they found that the kind of the financial unit, for lack of a better term, one that uses economic warfare to both bolster the rebellion and hinder the Empire. They found themselves into a bit of trouble. It seems that a slicer by the name of Dark Sun has found a way to basically cause untold havoc amongst both the rebellion and the Empire. Who this individual has an actual beef with, and why he is attacking attacking both sides, is completely unknown at this point. The crew, or Havoc Squad, was able to get a sizable bursary from Rebellion High Command in the form of 50,000 credits. I think it was 50 grand. might have been less. It's probably 50 grand. And was given the gift of having their ship retrofitted, as when they got it, it was, well, kind of a hunk of junk. But now that it's being retrofitted and upgraded to become a fully functional ship, the crew set out to investigate who Darksun is and where they can find him. This took them to a salvage merchant, a Gran, by the name of Can We Scrape, who instructed them that the Raltiri Tigers often employs this individual to do some of their dirty work. Also, they found out that the Raltiri Tigers, a very large organized local gang within Raltir, have a base of operations in one of the older towers known as the Sundiver Hotel. Upon exiting the shop, they were unfortunately on the receiving end of a flyby shooting, which caused a bit of a problems. Their ship, the Finders Keepers, was hit pretty good, and also a surprise was had in the form of Kojamal's brother being one of the shooters. And I think at that point we are essentially up to date, or at least up to snuff. So let us begin session 11 of Heart of the Empire. As you see the ship fly by and out of sight, the rest of you, all of you, are picking yourselves up, looking a little dazed, and most certainly not that shocked, especially seeing the emblems on the vessel. Ship flies around and then hooks and then flies up, almost hitting a couple of other skiffs and shuttles flying around. Looking at your shuttle, the Lambda class transport, you do see a little bit of damage to it. It doesn't look severe. You think the ship is still flyable, but other than that, with the exception of I believe Kojamal, you might have taken at least one hit. It is all in your hands, gentlemen.
Okay, looking around, are there any sort of similar sort of hover cars or skiffs sort of in the immediate vicinity?
No, you see a few of the shuttlecraft kind of like were coming to a stop and just trying to kind of move around that whole scenario, obviously, because nobody wants to get shot flying around. A lot of people in their ships just kind of darting off. You don't see anything else that looks like one of these Raltiri Tiger shuttles.
Using my knowledge of piloting and all things ship-wise, would it be possible to pursue them using the Finders Keepers, or would that be too large for that sort of thing?
You most certainly can if you want to jump in the shuttle, see if it'll. You do see them you do see the ship kind of take off and then do a very quick banking left turn and just gets lost in a sea of these tall towers.
Right, I'll be Celine's heading back up the ramp into the Finders Keepers, obviously intent on pursuing them sort of as soon as it starts heading away.
Okay.
So Kojamal doesn't see Salen moving to the ship. He's still standing at the edge of the platform, facing the direction the skiff is disappearing into, and he still has the shocked look on his face, and his right arm that's holding his blaster pistol is just kind of loose at his side, and the smoke from the blaster shot still billowing out slightly from his shoulder, and his left arm's just still reaching out from when he called to his brother, and his brother didn't answer, and the skiff just disappeared, and his mind is just lost in the past and trying to make sense of what he's seeing, and his arm just kind of slowly lowers to his side.
And as you as you get lost in that haze, you kind of think you hear your brother, Kojamal, Kojamal, and then Kojamal, and you see Mercer is grabbing you. He's taking a stim pack out of his bag, and he kind of like just plunges it into your shoulder, and kind of looks you over. Kojamal, come on, let's go, get up, and he kind of starts like trying to like help you up.
As the needle goes in, or the Bacta is injected into his system, he feels that rush of health and rejuvenation. It just blinks, and it brings him back to the present. And he just turns and looks at Mercer, and you can see like he's coming back to catching up with the present moment. And yes, sorry, but I thought he was dead, Mercer. I thought I lost him, but he's here, and he's with these Alteri tigers. I have to find him. And I'll look around, and I'll see maybe at this point the Saelin's going into the Finders Keepers, and I'm definitely going to just follow him in there if I think that he's going to pursue the skiff. And Kojamal's definitely on board with that.
Okay. And Mercer's like, we gotta go, and he starts. The two of you start running up the gantry way, or running up the ramp into the shuttle. And what about yourself, Varric?
Varric will stand ready, watching, studying the area, make sure there's no more incoming. He'll wait till the others are like halfway there, and then he'll start running after them. If it looks like it's clear as far as any more enemies showing up.
Yeah, it seems like there's no one left. Like everyone else is. You see, like kind of like I guess for lack of a better term, traffic is still moving, kind of at a bit of a pace. But obviously you get the typical like looky-loos. People slowing down kind of near you to see like, hey, is there any dead bodies over there? So like people are slowing down a little bit. But yeah, you run up the ramp. Celine, guess you're gonna probably.
Yeah, I'll be doing like the quick version of like the pre-flight checks, effectively just the absolute essentials. I turn the scanner on. Since I got a fairly good look at the skiff, I'll be trying to use the scanners based on its trajectory to like locate it, since presumably we can't see it by sight because it was lost amongst the towers. So I'll be trying to use the sort of high resolution scanners on the Finders Keepers to locate it, so we can set off in pursuit as quickly as possible.
Kojamal will rush to the cockpit, and very anxiously he's just watching what Saelin's doing, and checking through the view screen, trying to see if he can see just the skiff disappearing. And he puts a hand on Saelin's shoulder, and when Saelin looks at him, he can see like Kojamal is very upset and emotional, and he just squeezes Saelin's shoulder, and he's like, Saelin, please. We have to catch them. We have to find them. I need to talk to him.
That's the plan, Kojamal. Bringing the engines online now.
And Kojamal will just back up and just let Saelin do it.
And the ship kind of like lifts up. The wings kind of extend downward into the trefoil kind of locked position, and you take off. What speed are you going to be flying at?
I want to be going fairly rapidly, but I'm also aware there's a lot of traffic about, so sort of I'll be trying to get up to a reasonable speed, but I'm not going for like the full bore sort of breakneck gunning the shuttle, because I don't want to just like smash into loads of traffic.
Not a problem. And sorry about that. So if you guys are, I'm gonna bring this back to a non-Star Wars movie for a sec. You guys remember The Fifth Element?
Mm-hmm.
Remember the beginning with all the traffic, but it's basically like there's like traffic like rectangles or cubes. Like you've got like 3 lanes of like 3. Kind of like in a. Okay, so think of it a lot like that in Reltier. You've got like an upper lane, a middle lane, a lower lane, and it's basically like 2. So you've got hundreds and hundreds of shuttles going in one direction, hundreds and hundreds of shuttles going in another direction. It's all very standard. as you come up and you take off, you know, you can see you're kind of able to like kind of fit just between the brake, between like the middle and lower kind of like lanes, and you know you kind of just tuck underneath and you begin heading in the direction of the escaping vessel. What I'd like you to do is, can you make me an astrogation check? It'll be a difficulty of 1 purple and 1 red. So I'm going to flip a destiny.
Do I get any boost dice for using the scanners to do the advanced check, so that I sort of have more of an idea where he's going, to be able to like plot the most obvious route?
Well, the only thing about the scanner is that because you don't have like an actual, like you don't have the ship's ID, you can't actually pick it up amongst all the traffic.
No, I was thinking more of like finding a route between the traffic rather than sort of that. Just so I don't like smash into anything on the way, basically.
Gotcha. Okay. Then yes, I will definitely say give yourself a boost die for that.
Okay. There we go. 1 success.
Very nice. So you're able to like utilizing the scanners and finding just weak points in the traffic. You're able to cut your way through, and you begin to head left. As you kind of bank left into where you think the other, where the shuttle went, you can't really see where they went. If you'd like to make, what would be the best? I'm trying to think of a good knowledge check.
If we're just looking for it, would perception be applicable? I don't know what the exact nature of the test is.
Well, I'm trying to think. Like you don't see him at all, or you don't see the shuttle at all. And I'm trying to think of a knowledge. I guess I would say you could make a like kind of a either do perception. But it'll be either perception and a difficulty of 3, or you can also do knowledge warfare, which would be a difficulty of 2 to kind of guess where would be the best. Like if you were that guy trying to dodge pursuers, where would you go, kind of a thing.
Okay, I'll go for the perception roll, difficulty 3. I'm going to use one of my abilities that allows me to add 2 bonus dice to a single roll during the game.
Nice.
So just an advantage.
Okay. So you kind of narrow it down a little bit. You think he either turned, he turned right, which seems to be where traffic is thinnest, or he actually kind of went down and forward to kind of hide himself in heavier traffic. So it kind of narrows it down just a little bit with that advantage.
I'll say to the others, it's difficult to find anything with all this traffic. The scanners are getting scrambled. There's too many vehicles in the air here. I'm just going to see if I can find anything that's moving against the flow of traffic, and I'll be on the scanners.
Is there any way I can assist him, either by taking over the scanner so he can focus on piloting, or just looking through the viewport myself and trying to find it?
Probably a good idea, Coach. And what I'll say is I'll dodge to avoid a car.
Yeah, I would say if you want to make a perception check yourself as well, okay. Maybe it'll probably be about a difficulty of 3.
Okay, I'm gonna flip for this. So I'm not that good at perception. Okay, so 3 purple. Okay. 2 failures, but 2 advantages. So I can't see him, but I see something that might help us track them down.
You most certainly do. Looking at your viewport, you see, you actually see what looks to be some vehicles that had scattered and are now trying to reform back, and it's actually at like basically in the kind of left-hand direction, or excuse me, the right-hand direction, which was one of the choices that you could have made.
Okay, so I see that in the scanner or through the viewport, and I just right away I point and I'm sailing there.
It's looking pretty tight down there. I think I'm going to have to override the stabilizing wings and bring them up. Strap yourself in, boys. It's going to get bumpy.
So I'll do that. Strapping.
Okay. Varric, what would you be doing? Think you're muted?
I think just in case, probably strap into one of the gunnery chairs.
Nice.
Awesome. Okay. Now, on the Lambda class shuttle, there is one gunnery chair, but it's the ventral guns. So it'd be the aft heavy, like twin heavy blasters. So you're in that position. You're kind of ready to go. It actually has like kind of a something you can step on that will kind of almost magnetize you to it, and there's like actually like an open door that kind of pops open. The guns are out and ready to go. So you can just feel the air is just like the wind is just whipping around you as Celine just goes. You almost kind of like you kind of almost like hit yourself in the gut with the actual guns as he just punches it. And you're ready to go.
Awesome.
I need you, Celine, if you could please make me a difficulty 3 piloting land check.
Okay. Can I use the sensor information I've got off Kojimul to give me a boost dice to that?
Yes, most certainly.
Okay, and it's difficulty 3, you said. Three successes and 3
Nice.
advantages.
Nice.
I'm all over this close quarters piloting.
Oh, you most
Awesome.
certainly are. All right, so you just zip in. Not only do you zip in through, but you've actually noticed that you seem to have gained on the vessel, and it didn't actually take you too long. You see the ship kind of make a hard bank, kind of like just a hard bank left, and then like goes basically up, and then comes straight down through traffic, scattering more vehicles. So I'm going to need you to make another piloting land check, difficulty of 3.
Hold on, boys, we're going in.
Nice. And you just expertly just like pass in between them, everyone's kind of like knocking their bodies around a little bit, and you just shoot straight down, and you're on this guy. You actually get the computer kind of like pings that you get a kind of a notification that you are within weapons range now.
I'm just going to sort of like finger hovering over like the button for the forward like laser cannons. I'm just going to briefly, like while I'm still holding on to the controls, like glance across at Kojimul.
Just disable the ship only.
I'll do my best. It's not exactly the precision flying I'm used to. I'll press the button and fire the forward laser cannons. But I'm looking to try and like hit the engine or the propulsion rather than just sort of like total their vessel.
And
Okay.
Kojimal's really anxiously watching this, really tense.
Okay, then just make me an attack roll. It'll be a difficulty of 2.
Mm-hmm.
Nice.
So 3 successes and 1 threat. So I have hit it, but obviously some unforeseen circumstance has occurred.
Indeed. As you fire, you fire a couple of, you fire your first couple shots, kind of pings off what seems to be kind of more toughened armor, but your third shot kind of punches through, hits it pretty hard, and for the threat, the ship veers off and kind of clips another vehicle, and the vehicle just starts like flying straight back at you. And I need you to make a difficulty 4 piloting land check because you've had no time to react to this.
Oh, failure.
Oh no.
The vehicle, like you just see the vehicle just gets bigger and bigger. You almost have time to kind of move out of the way, but just not quite enough. The vehicle collides into your shuttle. hitting it for. Just give me 1 second here.
Our shuttle is going down.
So it collides into it for about 6. Dang it! Why can't words come to me right now?
Hull damage.
Thank you. Words, man. I'm telling you. So, it just like careens off, scrapes past, and then flies, and actually smashes into another vehicle that was not so lucky because it smashes dead on, and just hits the ground, or at least.
Damn it! I just had this repainted.
Yeah, sounds like a true car owner. And as your ship begins to kind of like go hard, go down, what I need you to do, Varric, is please make me either an athletics or a coordination check. I'll let you choose.
Okay.
Oh, sorry. Difficulty of 3.
Sorry. 1, 2, 3. You said coordination or athletics?
Yeah, it's your choice.
He's a ninja. He's good at both.
Yeah, I think I'll go with athletics.
Definitely a good idea.
1, 2, 3. You said 3 purple. Sure. 1, 3, 1, and then boost. Okay. Okay. I won't be using force for this one, but
maybe, probably not.
2 successes an advantage.
As the vehicle hits and kind of careens off, it jars you almost out. You almost get sucked out of the actual out of the ship itself, but you manage to grab on, kind of pulling yourself back in. With that advantage, you also, as you climb in, you manage to hit the door, and very quickly the ventral guns kind of tilt up really fast, and the door just shuts, preventing you from falling out anymore. The ship, or the enemy shuttle, just seems to go, and it almost seems to get lost into traffic. Just as you're trying to pull up, Celine, and just kind of get your bearings to keep yourself from careening into either a building or crashing into Raltier's surface.
Damn it! I think we've lost them.
Damn it, Sharon! I said disable them, not crash them.
Well, to be honest, I was a bit more concerned with making sure we didn't crash.
Is there any kind of... Oh, sorry.
Yep.
I was going to ask, is there any kind of sensors or a chance that I can spot from my gunnery position to see which way they went?
Well, you're actually facing behind
Okay.
the vessel. If you want, you can like step out of the gunnery position. If you want to run up to either the cockpit or run up to one of the windows, you can try and have a look to see if maybe you can.
Yeah, as soon as I say that we've lost them, I would run
Cool.
for the nearest viewport, or whatever I could use to try to spot them.
Sure, that's a great idea. So as you run up, make me a difficulty, or make me a difficulty check. Make me a perception check, difficulty of 2 purple and 1 red. As it took you a little bit to get up to the viewport.
I'd also like to check the sensors again, and even if I can't see them directly, I'd still like to find some other kind of clues where they might have gone.
Sure, not a problem at all.
Some trajectory or some damage, or like you said, disrupted traffic, stuff like that.
Sure. So if you want to check the scanners, just make me an astrogation check, and then that'll be a difficulty of 2.
Sorry, I accidentally hit reset instead of roll. What was the difficulty?
Sorry, a difficulty of 2 purple and 1 red.
Okay. Yeah.
So you although you didn't see anything, you kind of think that there's still like some kind of weird traffic patterns, like nothing that looks like as it should look, kind of like a fair bit ahead of you. So you think maybe they're ahead, maybe they turned off quickly, but you're not 100% sure.
Oh, I got a wash.
Uh,
No, null result.
You seem to have forgot your boost dice, dude. If you spent a light.
Oh, did I? Oh, did I? No, because I had only 3 green for astrogation, so I did the 2 green and 1 yellow.
Right, okay.
Yeah, I'm really bad at astrogation. I'm not the pilot.
It's alright. The pilot's pretty bad at astrogation.
it's funny,
so I'm just hitting the sensors and I can't. I don't know. There's no results, so I'm not sure what I see or don't see. Just more data, but nothing conclusive or inconclusive.
I don't have them, but they may be in front of us.
So that's basically what Varric says to the 3 of you, or the other 3 of you. It's at this point, Celine, that you notice the communicator is beginning to light up as you have an incoming message.
I'll hit the communicator.
You see the form of Major Surian, the head of the Economic Warfare Unit on Raltier. He kind of looks at his old, like usual, angry, grizzled self with a scar. Would you 4 please do me the honor of not shooting up all of Raltier in your little pursuit games? What the hell is going on?
We were just attacked on a landing pad. Given the lack of law enforcement in the area, we elected to pursue them.
Who was shooting at you? Do you know?
I'll sort of like briefly glance over at Kojimon and then say, no, we're not sure. It was a skiff, and I'll give him the description of the skiff that we saw. But beyond that, I'm not sure. We seem to have lost some of the moment in the traffic. We could continue the pursuit, but we'd be putting other people at risk, so we've throttled back a little bit.
Well, at least you did that, right? Listen, we're getting some intercepted communiques. There's something wrong with your vessel up there in orbit. I need to grab one of you, send you up there, find out what the hell's going on. The big guy. The hell's your name again?
Mercer.
Mercer, yeah, that's it. Come back, we'll send a shuttle up with him. You can go up and have a look with that. In the meantime...
It doesn't look like we're going to be catching these fools anytime soon, so we're on our way back anyway.
All right. Good. In the meanwhile, we're going to have to... I mean, no one's dead, right? You didn't kill anyone, did you?
Not to the best of my knowledge.
Good. Just come back, and we'll figure out what to do from there.
Major.
Understood.
And Kojima will say just before Stalin cuts communication, Kojima will step in and say, Major, we think it might have been the Raltiri Tigers that attacked us on the platform.
Oh, damn it.
Do you have any information at all that might help us find where they are? Or how to reach them?
Yes. Not here, though. Come back, we'll talk in person.
Roger that.
I'll cut communication. Right, heading back to the landing platform. Might take us a little bit longer since, as the Major says, we don't want to endanger anybody else, but turning the ship round, and I'll start plotting a course back to the landing platform.
And as you go, you're following traffic, just kind of doing the usual, obeying the laws and whatnot. It takes you about, I'd say about a good 25 minutes, just kind of like following back. You land on the same landing pad. And as you head in, the receptionist at the bank, First Raltiri Trust, recognizes you. Kind of just motions you over to the kind of the hidden elevator. You hop in and you head down. Major Surian kind of greets you as you guys walk in. Come into my office. Look, before we get down to talking about this, let's just have a drink. So just grabs a bottle, just some bottle of Chandrillan brandy, kind of pours a shot to Mercer, and says, "Drink that fast, son. I got a shuttle. Take you up to the starport." "Yes, sir." And, tosses it back, and heads out. "Now, for the three of you, making the Raltiri Tigers mad is a bad idea. But it seems that they have their eyes set on you, and you can't be swayed. The best way to do it is to head over to the Sundiver Hotel. It's in the center of the city. It's one of the oldest towers on Raltiri, one of the first built. It was supposed to be a grand luxury hotel and has passed down in the family for probably about 2 or 3 generations at this point. I think the current owner of the tower is Magnus Sundiver. He's a quiet fellow, really pretty nice. Unfortunately, the Raltiri Tigers have moved in, so he basically just keeps the peace. They pay him a decent wage. He gets to keep breathing and enjoy his money for the most part. Other than that, that's pretty much about it. Now, the Raltiri Tigers own the entire building. Luckily, though, most of the tower has pretty much been fortified. It's kind of sits in a little bit of a sketchier area of the planet, sitting on kind of a fault line. But they reinforce it, so instead of the usual, 8,000 or 9,000 floors, it's been reinforced and chopped down to about 1,200. Now, I'm assuming at the top of the tower is going to be the leader of the Raltiri Tigers. No one knows his name. Some people call him Claw, but who knows? Just another scumbag. Well, anyway, I wouldn't jump up to the top of the Sundiver if I were you. They have multiple AA batteries, heavy guns, nothing you want to mess with. If you need to start somewhere, you'll have to start down at the cantina, and that's called the Credits End. The cantina's it's a scumbag place. It's not the kind of place that you probably want to find yourself anywhere near. Probably don't even want to touch anything either, catch all kinds of diseases. Well, you'll probably find Magnus there. You might find the vessel that attacked you there too. If that's the case, you might have to be prepared for a fight. And I'm not going to lie, the Raltiri Tigers, they're organized, they're tough. There's a reason why on a banking planet, organized crime is allowed to flourish, because they let it happen. So if you're going to go up there and you're going to go against these guys, be prepared for a 1,200 floor fight.
Hopefully it doesn't come to that, Major. We just need to talk to them. Hopefully we can find a way to make that happen.
Well, given the fact they've already attacked us, I mean, I'm hoping for a peaceful solution as well, Kojima, but given the fact they've already attacked us just for having the temerity to land on this planet, I think the chances are fairly slim.
Yeah.
They didn't kill us, though. They could have, but they didn't. So we don't know what their motives are right now.
Well, let's just say that if that's their way of saying hello, their manners need a little bit to desired.
Well, they're definitely mostly thugs. But their leader, this Claw, or whatever the hell his name is, he's smart. He's really smart. And these guys do a lot of stuff. Money laundering, extortion, fraud, lots of theft, murder for hire. I mean, if it's in the bad books, they've done it. Just keep your eyes peeled. And let's just go with the fact that there's a very good chance that every security camera, turrets, soldiers, everything, that place is a fortress. So, if you have to clear it floor by floor, inch by inch, Best of luck to you.
Thank you, Major.
Matter of fact, here, hang on. And he kind of pours another 3 drinks, sets it down, just sets the bottle,
Major.
just sets the bottle down. When you lads are ready to go, let me know. If you guys need a plan in here, go right ahead. We don't really have too many schematics of the Sundiver. Unfortunately, and not surprisingly, all records of the building's architecture have gone missing. I'm pretty sure that's the first thing that they probably did when they turned that place into a damn fortress. So, the best I can do is give you coordinates, and wish you the best of luck, because you'll need it.
I'm sure we wouldn't mind a couple of minutes to plan, Major, if that's okay with you.
Not a problem at all.
And I'll turn to look at Kojimal and Varric, and I say, well, we're already missing one of our more combat capable number thanks to that business with the ship. Obviously, I know, Kojimal, you're a demolition specialist. Hell, I'm a pilot, so we've pretty much got Varric, as far as I'm aware, who's good with the upfront fighting. And I don't mean to cast aspersions on your abilities, Varric. I've seen you; you're very impressive. But I doubt even your ability to single-handedly slaughter your way through that entire building full of thugs. I can't see
Well,
going in there is going to work.
Well, if we can start at the cantina, just try to get some information. Just try to get a message. If I could just get a message to my brother, maybe he could come out and meet us. I don't know. I have to try something. I can't just walk away from this.
Well, given that apparently they've compromised potentially all of the security cameras, perhaps if we find a security camera in the area and you deliver your message into one of those cameras, it will make its way back to your brother and his associates.
So we don't need to go into the cantina for that?
Well, I would say perhaps you deliver your message, perhaps specify the cantina as a meeting place. We can then head there and wait to see if they've picked up our message and if they respond. It seems more sensible than just storming the building.
Right. We'll try that, and we'll have a frequency where he can contact us. And
yes, I can set up an encrypted frequency on our comm links, and you can just give the frequency and the message. We just need to find a security camera roughly in the area of the canteen. It shouldn't be too difficult.
let's do it. Let's start that. Anything that we can do.
Okay, let's go then. I don't think we should take the ship. I think we should travel there via more normal means. How far away is it? But I presume we'd have to walk or hire a skiff or something similar.
Yes. So given the coordinates, you think that if you were to walk there, it would probably take you anywhere between 10 and 12 hours to walk. I mean, and that's like more like jogging than walking. You could hire a skiff. Wouldn't cost you much, probably about 50, 60 credits. Think of like a taxi or something, for lack of a better term.
Yeah, so I'll head outside and I'll start booking, like renting a skiff so I can fly us there. So I don't want to risk the shuttle sort of in any further traffic-related hijinks.
Not a problem. Major Surian basically gets you one. Like it's not a difficult thing. Like you see a lot of like for lack of a better term, escort shuttles taking people from the various banks, especially like high rollers, people who are kind of like important. A lot of them could come and go as they were. He finds a decent shuttle. Lets you know the. All right, well, the shuttle will be here in 10-15 minutes. Is there anything you fellas need?
I think we're good to go unless either of the two of you want anything.
How can we get the message in there? Do we need to do it through the shuttle's communication system? Or do we need to bring something else? Slicing gear, data pad.
Well,
How are we gonna do it?
you're gonna have a driver with this shuttle. They're gonna take you where you want to go. So I wouldn't try and slice into the shuttle's communications because there's a pilot, and you'll probably be pretty pissed off that you're trying to slice into their gear.
No, we don't want to slice into the shuttle's communications. We want to access. We want to send a message to the Reltiri Tigers.
Well, I was thinking what we do is since the commander has already said that they have access to security feeds on buildings surrounding their cantina and this Sundiver hotel, that we simply find perhaps a public building that has security cameras. Then you address the camera and make your message known that way. Hopefully it'll get back to them if they're monitoring all the security feeds.
It's a long shot. I'll try
It's the only shot I've got at the minute.
If there's some way that we can make sure that they see that feed, something we can do to draw their attention to that camera at the time that I send the message.
Well,
I'm worried it's
I'm
just going to
hoping-
be lost. Like whoever's monitoring that camera just won't care. Some weakling is standing there in front of a camera talking to it.
Well, I'm hoping the fact that they've recently attempted to shoot at us, and I'm sure lots of people have heard about that by now, and given your particular involvement with this, I'm hoping that if we have you addressing the camera, that they'll be monitoring it anyway, given that they've chosen to attack us, and they'll be probably expecting some form of reaction from us. So hopefully they'll be keeping an eye on the security feeds, trying to track what we're doing.
Well, I mean, the other option would be is to just send a communication to the bar. If it turns out your brother's in there, ask to speak to him. I mean, what harm could it do?
That's a good point.
Let's try that. If we can just contact them directly.
Okay, let's get in the taxi and head there then.
Yeah, and as you guys go in, Major Surian kind of motions someone over as you guys are leaving, and kind of like gives you see kind of like a small, kind of like looks like an aluminum box. It's about, I don't know, yay big, you know. Opening it up, you see inside it's another 10 stim packs. Just in case.
That's an ominous gift.
Well, just in case the thing goes to hell. Which, when you're dealing with the Reltiri Tigers, there's probably a very good chance of that. Besides, I would dread to think about you guys dying if you're going to be getting into a fight of that magnitude, especially the three of you. Hopefully, your compatriot can rejoin as soon as they clear up whatever the hell's going on up there. The details are pretty spotty, but if it's the Reltiri Tigers up there trying to mess with your ship, I'm pretty sure you guys wouldn't appreciate you losing your pretty new toy.
Thank you, Major. And we'll distribute the stim packs among the three of us.
Excellent.
If there's 10 of them, I suggest myself and you take 3 Kojimul and Varric takes 4 of them, since he's more likely to be in the front line, so to speak.
Yep. Perfect.
Right, let's go then.
And as you head up, the elevator, as usual now, is very nice and smooth going up. You know, no problems there. And you head your way out. You see a very beautiful looking shuttle is kind of just sitting there waiting for you. Pardon me, gentlemen. Are you the yes? Come. And you know, it opens up. The doors open up, and he just kind of like bows a little and kind of goes in. Like, this is clearly, you know, kind of like not necessarily a limousine, but you know, if someone kind of like rents you a Mercedes with a driver, you know, it's a regular Mercedes. Like, clearly this is like the middle, you know, kind of the middle of the road kind of a nice car service. So he just kind of bows a little and kind of like motions with his arms to to step in. And as you sit down, he kind of goes in, kind of pops in, and he sets up like you see kind of like he puts up almost like a privacy screen, just kind of like goes up between the three of you and the driver, just to kind of like, we don't say nothing because when we deal with banking and whatnot have you, it's kind of a thing like you guys are probably going to do some heavy financial stuff, and I don't want to know anything about it, so just you do you kind of thing.
Well, there's nothing like traveling in style.
Yeah, normally Kojima would be, of course, very impressed and enthusiastic about this, coming from a poor homeworld and a poor background on that homeworld. But at this point, he's sitting with a window seat next to him, or sitting in the window seat, and he's just staring at the window. He's not seeing anything. His eyes just kind of got the 1,000-yard stare, and he's just fingering the leather pouch around his neck that holds the quay, and just lost in thought still. Doesn't even notice the lavish surroundings of the vehicle.
Varric, you're more acquainted with these sort of high threat situations than myself. Well, certainly on the ground anyway. Do you have any recommendations when we get in there if things go south, as I suspect they might?
Well, if we're outnumbered, make a run for it. I'll cover you.
I like that plan.
Otherwise, pick out who's in charge. Take them down.
And when Kojima hears that, he looks over at Varric, and he says, but not my brother. We need him. We need him alive. I need to talk to him. Please, Varric, don't hurt him. No matter what he does. Just please, no matter what he does.
I will not risk you. I will not risk Celine, and I will not risk myself. I will do what I can to subdue him.
Varric's got
no
a good
choice.
Point. I mean, don't get me wrong, I sympathise with the situation you're in, Coach Jamal. I have siblings myself, but and we'll obviously do our best, but if it comes down to a case of it being him or us, well, I'm picking us every day of the week.
Varric will pat a spot on his the sleeve of his robes, and from a hidden pocket he'll pull out a set of vibro knucklers. If it comes to it and I can take him out without any permanent damage, I will. That is the best I can offer.
Thank you, my friend. He's the only family I have left. He's made some mistakes in the past, and that's how I lost touch with him, and he's obviously continued making mistakes, but I can't give up on him. As I said, he's the only family I have left, and I'm the only family he has left.
Well, he certainly made a mistake in the very recent past. But we'll do what we can.
Thank you. And Kojima will just go back to staring at the window again.
And as you see the various towers, kind of whizzing by, and like land bridges, people walking overhead, and it all seems very peaceful. The sun is beginning to set on Raltir, and it is getting to be night. And it's almost as if a place that looked like cold, dead, bony fingers protruding from a planet suddenly just spring to life. Lights just begin to burst everywhere. Towers, lights just begin to shoot up the towers, and everything becomes bathed in this unnatural but hauntingly beautiful light as neon lights begin to glow kind of in areas so that shuttles know obviously not to run into the towers. Lights from different apartments and housing and offices where members stay late and work. Everything just seems to burst into life. and the whole thing is just a rainbow hue of different shades of white and blue and different neon colors, greens and reds. Like it's like Vegas, but if you cranked Vegas up to 11. It's just so much light and just so much beauty. Even all of the shuttles, their running lights begin to kind of like flick on as everything kind of just keeps on going, and it's beautiful. It's really, really beautiful. You begin as you're flying. You eventually kind of come to one tower that does seem to be it looks much older than the others. The neon lights are kind of like not quite working as well in spots, and there's kind of a lot of dark patches, especially near the top of the tower. The one kind of area that is well lit is right in front. You see as the shuttle starts like kind of getting a little bit closer, but not too close. You see it says the Sundiver, or the Sundiver Hotel, and then right below it, kind of like on top of this extremely large landing pad is the Credits End Cantina. You see a few shuttles kind of sitting there of different designs, different types. A lot of them do have a kind of a tiger motif. Some have what looks to be it almost looks like an elongated teardrop, not like a standard tiger, but just this really elongated with one round end, but it kind of points off to these things, which is basically the stripes on a Raltiri tiger. These very elongated kind of teardrops look to them. A lot of them are done in like different types of green, as the colors of the Raltiri tiger are kind of like this green and like very light tan color going across the whole thing.
Okay, as we're sort of travelling to the cantina, obviously we've got a bit of time. Kojima will sort of finish his conversation with us about his brother, and he's sort of like looking off, like holding onto this leather pouch around his neck. Given that the other guys had mentioned that the visions that I've been having may be related to the Force in the previous session, I'm going to sit down for the first time, sort of taking it a bit more seriously, that like, oh, maybe it's not just me losing my mind. I'm going to sit there and I'm just going to try and concentrate on the sort of gentle like hum of the engines as the skiffs as they move, almost like meditating, since we need more information before we try and take on this base. And I'm just going to try and concentrate and see if I can sort of bring on one of these visions that may or may not help us in what we're about to face.
Nice.
Right on. All right, if you could roll me a...
Not that.
Not the best.
Sorry, I don't mind tapping into the dark side. It's fine.
Yeah. Okay.
Better dark side than dead, baby.
Yeah.
So, as you kind of focus, you close your eyes and you kind of find this. You don't really find this moment of peace as the lights. As the shuttle's moving past, the lights are kind of like just like strobing off of your closed eyes. You can just see the light like flash, 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 flash. And you begin tapping into this part of your body, this part of your mind that focuses on just the anger of these people that you don't even know. You just came down to this planet to try and help them, but they just try to shoot you. And it makes you angry.
As I'm sort of sat there thinking, I'll be sort of like in my mind going over like the shots hitting like the shuttle and sort of like spanging bits of it off, and us the skiff sort of spiraling down to potential death as we were trying to pursue them. And I'm like, oh, none of that would have happened if they hadn't started it. We came here peacefully, and they sort of initiated the aggression.
Exactly. Like, who are these people that they can just be so flippant with innocent people's lives? and it just makes you angry, and it's not fair. And you know, you want to know so you can get back at them for what they did, because there could have been a family, there could have been children in that skiff that went down.
And worst of all, they damaged my ship.
Exactly. You're playing a dark side character, aren't you?
Uh-huh.
You know, and you know, as you begin to get angry, like you begin to push past, your mind becomes a fog, but that fog, it's like almost out of, you know, order ab cow, like out of chaos comes order. You know, the fog begins to materialize, and you begin to see yourself running. You are running through a corridor. There are doors on either side, spaced evenly apart. A lot of them have like keypads that either have been damaged, or a few of them here and there are kind of like still lit up. As you run past, you know, you see one individual. He looks like a thug. He looks like he's some sort of a just like must be one of these gang members, you know, and he's reaching out. He's been hit really badly. He seems really wounded, but he's reaching up for you with a look of mercy on his face, and you know, you just look down and you feel nothing but an emptiness as you draw your blaster pistol and put a round through him, killing him, just putting him effectively out of his misery. As you keep running, you know, you're looking for a door. You need to find a certain door, and you think you're coming close. You see the door. You're running. It's right there. It's right there in front of you. You need to get at that door, and in front of you, a girl steps out with no face. But even with no face, you can see sadness in her eyes. You can see the sadness as a blaster fire hits her in the back as she collapses into your arms. She lays down. You sink to your knees, holding her. Looking up, you see shadow and smoke coalescing into a form. You hear a voice. You, Squiddy, made the wrong choice. And you wake.
Okay, so whilst that's going on, I'll have been sat there sort of like hands on my knees, sort of like gripping my knees quite tightly. And I'll have since the other characters have sort of like known Salim for quite a while, he has a look sort of somewhere between sort of anger and fear on his face as he's sort of staring off into space. Then he almost sort of comes to himself with a start, and he's like, oh! Well, that didn't work precisely as I thought it would do.
Kojima will glance, turn his head and glance over from the window at Salen and see like Salen's agitation, and as John said, we've seen this kind of thing before. We've seen his reactions from when he's had a vision, and Kojima will say, "What is it? Another vision? What did you see?"
Yeah, so as we were travelling, I didn't want to disturb the two of you. I know Varric's preparing for the no doubt masses of people he's going to have to kill, and you seemed lost in your thoughts. But it occurred to me as we were travelling that these visions I've been having, if they are somehow linked into this force that you were talking about, maybe I could actually bring them on deliberately. And I tried. I saw us all running through a building. I saw us having to kill our way through a number of people. And just as we were heading towards what I think must be our destination, we were looking for some kind of doorway. I don't know the details. But as we were heading towards it, a girl, I think it was the girl, you remember I mentioned from my earlier visions, the one who was hanging from the landing pad? She came
the girl
out.
you were supposed to save.
That's right. She came running out of the door, running towards me. And as she did, someone shot her in the back. I couldn't really see who it was. She fell into my arms, and I heard this strange voice telling me that I'd made the wrong decision. And then just as she fell into my arms, that's when I I came back into myself here on the shuttle.
Do you think the corridor that you were running through could be in this hotel?
Well, I was trying to focus my attention on the hotel. I don't know. I've not seen inside yet. And it was a pretty uniform corridor. Could have been any building, to be honest. But if I had to make a guess, I'd say yes. It could well be.
You said before that in your other visions, the girl was on a tower, at the top of a tower, but now
That's
she's
right.
inside the building.
Indeed,
How do you
it's
think-
strange. And I'll sort of, I take like a swig out of my canteen with like a slightly shaking hand to like steady myself.
That's
very
Star Wars
disturbing
Red Bull,
sight.
man. That's Star Wars Red Bull.
You just put a tentacle into the cantina. It's like a straw. You just drink through it.
It's difficult to say. I think perhaps that each time I have one of these visions, it's as we make more choices about what we're doing, they change and they shift a bit based on what we've done. I think each thing we do obviously affects other things. But as we're getting nearer to the time when we encounter this woman, they're certainly getting a lot clearer, whether that's because I'm getting more used to them or because the event itself is getting closer. I just don't know.
I think perhaps our fates are tied to this building or these Valkyrie tigers.
The strangest
For
thing
you,
about
Angela.
the vision, the strangest thing about the vision is, even though the girl was lying in my arms at the end of it, I couldn't see her face. It was obscured somehow, like she didn't have a face. But I could feel that she a great deal of sorrow emanating from her. I don't really know how, but. And I have no idea who this voice belongs to.
Or why she's important to you.
No, I just don't know.
Well,
I think
hopefully
it's
there's
clear,
answers
though.
for both of us soon.
Let's hope so, my friend. I think it's clear that if we do just attempt to make an assault on the building, it's certainly going to end badly. If not for us, then certainly for somebody else.
I'll keep my eye on you as well. Watch your back in there, just in case more visions happen while we're in the lion's den, or the tiger's den in this case.
Yes, let's hope one doesn't happen there. If there's one thing I can do without, it's getting incapacitated during a firefight, because I'm seeing things a couple of days in the future.
Varric might have his work cut out for him soon.
Well, Varric seems to understand this sort of stuff more than I do. I'm just a simple pilot. It's all a bit beyond me, if I'm perfectly honest.
I feel like we're all in over our heads here, but we just do the best we can. And
Well,
I thank you guys for helping me with this. I know this is somewhat of a personal matter. Doesn't necessarily directly relate to our mission, but anyway, I appreciate that you guys are helping me with this.
not at all. I mean, we need to try and get the Valkyrie Tigers on board. If your brother has some sway with them and that can be turned to our advantage, then it'll be worth whatever extra effort we expend trying to save or certainly not kill him.
That's okay.
Sorry, that sounded far more comforting in my head.
Yes, indeed.
So as you guys are getting nearer to the hotel, and now you're actually getting quite close to the landing pad, the privacy screen kind of like bzzz down a little bit. We are nearing your destination. Do you want me to land here or somewhere a little bit farther away?
If you could just land a couple of streets away, that'd be fine.
Yes, I know of one. And he kind of turns up and he begins to kind of like fly up, and you kind of see a one gantry way that goes towards the sun diver, and you kind of see like one area where you can kind of walk down and eventually make your way down. However, on that gantry way that seems to be a direct route to the sun diver, you do see a couple of guards, or at least a couple of tough-looking thugs standing there trying to not look like guards, but so obviously look like guards that they're failing miserably at it.
Yes, just down there will do.
Okay. He flies
Cool.
up and he just kind of like lands on the pad. He kind of like unstraps himself and kind of rushes over and opens it up and just again kind of bows and kind of points his arm. Thank you for flying. And he kind of goes back.
I'll give him some credits as a tip.
Oh, thank you. And he takes the credits and he kind of hands you a card, or at least like a kind of a small digital card with his name and the name of the company. It is just Cambriel Taxi, basically. He just kind of hands it to you.
Thank you.
With a communication frequency, so any of your communicators, you just kind of plug it in, like kind of like link into it, and he'll automatically get it.
Thank you very much.
So as we were moving up to that platform, and before we exit the vehicle, Kojamal would have unholstered his blaster and just like basically essentially a Star Wars version of just checking the chamber, checking the weapon, making sure it's operational and fine. He'll reholster it, take his vibro knife, and he's gonna just like kind of stuff it down into maybe his boot or something where it's concealed. He's gonna conceal the vibro knife, but obviously he can't conceal his heavy blaster. And
yeah, and that's
the vehicle.
For sure, and that's understandable. So the driver takes off a little bit hurriedly, and you can kind of realize why now that a lot of these towers that are kind of near to the Sundiver don't seem to be like in the best shape. You see quite a few neighborhoods that are like a bit like fairly run down. This isn't exactly like third world Sierra Leone, but it's definitely a bit more quite a lot more slummy of an area. Think of like the Bronx in the 1950s. Kind of Hell's Kitchen kind of thing. It's definitely not an area that is on all the tourist maps. You see a few people kind of huddle over like what looks to be like some sort of a transport crate, but people kind of like lit it on fire and just kind of using it to kind of warm themselves a little bit. You've noticed that Raltier seems to be the type of planet, as soon as the sun goes down, it actually gets fairly cool. Not Arctic temperatures, but it would go, and of course I'm going to use Celsius here for the hell of it because that's how I am. It would go from, let's say, like a nice 22, 23 degrees Celsius. I think that's like 75, 80. That's the one conversion that I've had the most difficult with.
I'm Canadian, so I'm right with you.
Oh, okay, well there you go.
So I was going to say, I'm in the UK. I'm all about the Celsius.
Oh, perfect.
Sorry, Eric.
Hi, Dennis. So let's say it goes from like, let's say a nice 22, 23, and then at night it'll drop to like 9 or 10. So it gets cold, but it gets cold very quickly. So you see a few people are huddled around, kind of staying warm. One person kind of walking around with like a ripped and torn up blanket. You hear a few arguments, at least a few domestic arguments going on in like a lot of these different places, or at least arguments in general. And you see kind of in a hodgepodge, kind of like a security fencing, and just an opening, and then these two gentlemen are standing. They're both, looks like they're wearing like some type of a padded armor or something to that effect. One of them's smoking a death stick, and the other one's kind of talking with him, but he's like, one of those talking with their hands kind of people, so he's like gesturing wildly and talking. The other guy is just like, yeah, whatever, man, like just he's having none of it.
I'll turn to Sarah and I'll say, I think you better do the talking here. I think my intentions are going to be a bit too blunt and direct for subtlety.
Well, to be honest, blunt and direct might be the best approach at this point. After all, if you want to speak to your brother in there, perhaps telling these people that's who you want to speak to might actually be a good way of us getting in there, rather than trying to make our way in by stealth and getting revealed later on. At least we put our cards on the table, we can see what their next move is and make our plan from there.
Works for me. So with that, I'll just turn and walk directly up to the nearest guy, the one smoking a death stick.
Yeah, and looking at him now, like you see, he's a human, just but he's definitely kind of a bigger guy. He's kind of smoking. His knuckles are kind of cut and bruised up, just over time, quite a few fights. And he's looking at. He doesn't really pay you much attention at first, I guess, because he's probably used to a lot of people coming up and trying to bum death sticks or just trying to ask him for change and stuff. So at first he doesn't pay you any attention. Then he kind of looks in your direction. What do you want?
We're here to see a Weequay. Goes by the name Akrev.
I
We
see
heard he
a
might be down in the cantina.
Cute. I see a Weequay right now. Looking at one.
Yeah.
There we
another
go.
one.
Mission accomplished. Get out.
Can't do that, friend. We have business with him in the cantina.
Friend, I don't know you. You're not my friend. Hey.
Why don't you tell him you can see a quarren as well and really astound him with your powers of observation?
And he kind of looks at you. Huh. Squiddy, huh? Yeah. Joran, what do you think? You see this other one. He's another human. Kind of looks. I don't know what the hell do you guys? What do you want? A Weequay? Who are they looking for? Who are you looking for? What's his name? Who is this guy?
Akrev.
Akarev?
Akrev. He might go by a different name, but he looks like me, younger, bigger. We heard he might be down there in the cantina.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah. Hang on. We know him. You want to go see him?
absolutely.
Okay.
Is he there, or do we have to go somewhere else to find him?
And he said, okay. Let's let them go see him. And the other guy smoking the death stick, he's kind of holding it in his lips, and he's like, yeah, okay. And they just kind of back up and go, be my guest. Go ahead. You want to go talk to him? Go ahead.
I was sit down for a second, like kind of confused by this, but anyway, we got what we wanted, so let's go down. So I'll just nod and then carry on down towards the cantina.
Okay. And what about Celine and Varric? What do you two guys doing?
I'm going to follow after him. So under my coat, I'll have one hand sort of just resting on my light blaster pistol just in case. And I'm going to be keeping it because obviously I know Kojin was probably quite distracted with his familial connections. So I'm just going to be sort of like moving my head around, keeping an eye out, trying to keep an eye on our periphery, etc. as we go in, make sure we don't get jumped.
Yeah. Kojima looks very focused. He doesn't look like he's going in there aggressively. He doesn't have his hands near his weapon or anything. He looks like he's literally just going to go in there thinking he can just go in and talk his way through this. But he's, very intently focused on the cantina. And Varric?
How about you, Varric?
Yeah, Varric will eye the two from beneath his hood. These two thugs, allowing the other ones a few seconds lead before he follows. What is the entrance like to this place?
So basically, you see you just kind of see a stairwell goes kind of straight down, and it basically it's just a walkway unto itself. It's kind of like a private walkway. It goes right to it. It looks like I'd say quite a while ago. It must have been a very beautiful grand walkway. There must have been either small gardens or nice planters, kind of lining it, going all the way just for the Sundiver Hotel, which kind of shows that this place obviously used to be pretty awesome. But the planters are now either empty or filled with death stick butts or garbage or just dirt rocks. A lot of the benches have been destroyed or graffitied. They're definitely in quite a state of disrepair. Just basically it's just a single walkway. There's again nice. It looks nice on either side. There's a really nice railing, and it offers pretty decent views of most of the, I guess what you would call the downtown core of Raltier, or Cambriel, excuse me.
What time of day is it?
Night.
So it is starting. It is pretty much dusk at this point. The sun has just peeked down by the horizon, and the last bits of light are just starting to fade off into darkness.
How well lit is the walkway? Is there shadows and the such, or?
There's actually a fair few. Like instead of like, it should be completely well lit all the way through. But it's like every second or third light is out either through damage or just neglect. The bulbs need to be replaced or just been taken out completely.
Perfect. So yeah, as he gives them a little time and he follows after, and the first shadowed spot he comes to, he's going to attempt to use his stealth to blend with the shadows.
Okay, so you basically want to stealth your way all the way past, like all the way along to the canteen. And
just to let you know, one of the upgrades that I got is in the Force Emergent tree, I have Sleight of Mind, which is basically tapping into the Force to aid my stealth. So as long as they're not immune to Force powers, I get additional boost to my stealth from that.
Okay. So you, if you can just roll me then a stealth check, we'll just like do it like basically. I'm assuming Celine and Kojamal are just gonna be walking. Like you guys don't really care. You're just gonna walk with purpose and intent. So that being said, if you could make me a stealth check, difficulty of 3.
That's not good. 5 advantage.
Well, you know what? In a situation like that, the way I look at it is that after 3 advantage, you're pretty sure you succeeded, but for the most part, you've misdirected anybody that was like looking intently out for the 3 of you. Really does only see 2 of you.
Okay.
To me, after 5 advantage, I mean, come on, I guess I can only give you so much advantage.
Yeah.
And you can only give them so much advantage, and they're walking with purpose. So put the advantage on yourself, and if you get enough advantage, it's pretty much. So
it becomes advantageous.
Exactly. So you stealth through. You guys make it up to the door. You see one guy kind of dressed in like padded armor or padded armored clothing. He looks like he's passed out right outside the cantina. He's wearing like kind of like a green yellow kind of uniform with the stripes. So I mean, he's definitely a tiger, a Raltiri tiger. So he's passed out. He clearly had way too much to drink. And the door is currently closed.
Well, if nothing or no one stops us from entering, then Kojamal will walk up to the door and attempt to enter.
Okay. So where are you right now, Varric?
I would be several steps behind them.
Okay. Basically, you're trying to still hide in the shadow, right?
And basically put distance so it doesn't immediately appear obvious that we're together if I am spotted.
Okay, so as you approach the door, you do see a camera, kind of a swivel camera. It's kind of pointed at you for a second, like stops, looks for like a good 5 or 6 seconds, and then just goes back to kind of like swiveling left and right. Can you, if you're going to be heading right through the door, Celine, are you going to be following?
Yes, I'll be just behind him.
Okay. And what about yourself, Eric?
I would actually wait till after they entered like a 5 count, and then I would go through the door.
Sure. And are you gonna are you gonna try and like beat the camera, as it were?
Yeah, if I can time it out, observe how it works and see if I can.
Yeah, sure.
What
No,
is
no.
actually thinking about it? What is above the doorway? What is like the roof and stuff like?
Nice.
The building just is like it's almost like sheer. Like it almost goes straight up for a good let's see, 1,000 floors, 1,200. So it's probably be about cause each floor is 10 feet. So that's about 12,000 feet straight up. Pretty much sheer. I mean, there's a few handholds. It looks like there's a few handholds, at least with how the concrete has been designed and everything else. It's nice, but it's for the most part
No
pretty.
windows or vents or anything conveniently about.
There are windows. There are actually windows along the cantina, but they're all shuttered closed. And it's just the single door. The right above, like on the next floor up from the cantina, you can tell is probably a good 50, 60 feet.
Okay, well I'll just keep it simple then. And basically, what I'll do is I'm going to time it to. Let me see here. What I double check this here. I would have to make a roll to see. I'm going to see if I can do this here real quick. So, go with this. Boost force. Okay, yeah, so totally. Basically, I'm going to use that light side point to do a force leap, which allows me to jump horizontally and vertically wherever I want within the short band. So I'll time it to where the camera's coming towards me, and then I'm basically just going to jump up and somersault and land behind it and totally avoid, hopefully, the scope of the camera. As I then
Well,
quickly follow after him.
So the door is basically like the door is here. The camera's like bolted to the building on top of the door.
Oh, so it's right above the doorway.
Exactly.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, I thought it was in the walkway. So, but it like turns left and right.
Yeah, it basically makes like kind of lazy arcs left and right, and you could, I mean, from what you saw that the camera stopped and kind of looked at Celine and Kojamal, either it's could be operated by someone or it just goes with motion tracking, and then it didn't really do anything. It just okay, that's those two, and then just goes back to just kind of looking left or right.
Yeah, and that's something I've never got a real firm grasp on as far as how all this how the stealth and sneaking works against the tech. If like cameras and security stuff automatically sees you, or how that works, and like if like the force aspect of it would transfer through that if there's someone watching. I don't know what the capabilities of that is.
Well, the way I see it is that if you're going to stealth, you make a stealth check, you time it, you're basically timing the camera that it looks away from you, and you're also doing it very quietly. So even if there was someone, let's say, in the shadows or someone doing whatever, they still won't be able to see you, and neither will the camera. If you had a force thing where it's like you have the ability to kind of mask your signature or mask yourself, you could, you'd more than likely mask it from a camera, because cameras are basically just they see things transferred to data and whatnot have you, so you can use your yeah.
So basically, I need to do a stealth roll, is what you're telling me.
And it'll be a difficulty of 2 because the camera's moving very slowly.
Okay.
So, yeah.
Where is it? So just on the off chance that it also does audio, I will activate my sound dampener, which will add 2 setback if they're trying to use audio to track movements and whatnot.
Sure, sounds good. I'm going to be rolling a perception for the camera, for basically versus your stealth anyway. So I will add 2 setback die to that.
Excellent. So I'm glad I did that then. 2 difficulty, you said, right?
Yeah.
2, and then I'm ready to take a strain. So 4 successes and advantage.
Okay, and versus just the 1 success, you definitely beat the camera. It kind of like, it's basically, as it's moving, it almost catches like the tail end of your robes so subtly that it kind of looks over in the one direction but doesn't see anything, so it automatically just whatever, it's probably nothing, and then just goes back like, and you're in the door. You guys walk through the door, and this is where we're going to put the tide change. So, ladies and gentlemen, in this part of the tide change, so this is the part where the players are going to tell me what they see as they walk in to the credits end cantina. So what we're going to do is we're going to go from left to right, or at least left to right as we started it. So we'll start with Kojamal. Kojamal, what do the players see? What do you guys see as soon as you walk into the cantina?
Okay. I haven't had a chance to think of something amazing, but I'll go with something basic. I'll say that when the door opens and we see the scene, we see typical cantina stuff. It's a very crowded place. It's busy. There's lots of tables. Some people are gambling. Some people are drinking. It's very loud and just typical like busy bar kind of scene. But there's a section at let's say there's the actual bar is maybe at the back or something like that. But there's a corner next to the bar, and it's a kind of sectioned off area where there's like some obvious similar thugs that are just kind of standing there and making sure like nobody goes to that corner of the cantina. And in that part of the cantina is a table with some, looks like kind of like sub-bosses kind of thing, where they're not like important people, but they're not like grunts either. So they've got their own little section. And they're sitting at a table together, and actually Kojamal's brother, Akrev, is sitting in the corner seat facing the door, and he's sitting, it looks like, kind of at the head of the table, and he's got some guys that are kind of next to him there. And it looks like he has some, at first glance, it looks like he has some kind of position of authority just from looking at the seating arrangement of people. What level of authority, that's up to you, but it looks like he has some kind of position there.
Okay. Very nice. Could you do me a big favor, though, and I hate to be a jerk about this, could you spell your brother's name? Is it like
sure.
Akarel?
It's AK-REV. I'll put it in the chat, too.
Akrev.
Yep.
Okay, thanks.
Yep.
Damn Weequay names, all being all tough and stuff. Okay. Celine.
Okay, for my tide change suggestion, I'm going to say that the Raltiri Tigers, as we heard earlier, have been causing problems for the Imperial authorities as well as the more mercantile interests. So I'm going to say that someone in Imperial authority, I'll leave that down to you, who has decided to try and make an example of some of their low-level enforcers to send a warning to them. So as we walk in, we actually walk into the very start of a firefight between some Imperial troopers and some Raltiri Tigers who are in the cantina. So that gives us a bit of a chance to sort of choose sides effectively.
You're a masochist, sir. You just like, you know what? Let's make hey, there's only 3 of us? Well, let's make our lives just a bit more difficult. Like,
Yeah, let's just go in and talk, and then we're gonna run away, and we're not gonna fight.
Can that be
Exploring can solve everything, man.
can that be a thing? And then Boba Fett shows up and says he has a warrant for all of our arrests. Then we're gonna fight Boba Fett. Let's fight Boba Fett.
It's alright, Kojima's holding a thermal detonator, it's fine.
That's true.
Yeah.
That's true.
I have one of those concealed too.
Because he's holding a thermal detonator. All right, so.
Just remember, I have a nice collection of explosives from our last mission.
Oh yes, good. I'm glad.
I hadn't forgotten.
Hey, check out this pocket nuke. All right, Varric, what do you see?
So mine is like almost exactly the opposite of Kojimal's. Instead of being a bustling full cantina, it's eerily almost completely empty. There's no patrons. There's a smattering of these thugs, and Akrev and a couple of his compatriots, I don't know how many were that were in the skiv that shot at us but missed, are like in kneeling position with thugs behind them, and the leader or whoever is like in front of them, and they've got guns pointed at their heads. And
Nice.
that's playing off kind of the attitude that the guys had, that they were obviously out front to stop people from coming in, but they're like, oh, sure, go ahead, join the party, have some fun.
Yeah.
Nice.
Letting us walk right into, this situation.
So the skiff crew are basically being lined up for execution.
Yeah, or at least
Gotcha.
threatened some kind of punishment, but likely, because they messed up and they created this big scene, and, so they got to tie up loose ends.
Yeah, I like execution. You weren't that attached to your brother, were you, Coach I'm kidding.
See what happens when
It didn't seem like it to me, so I figured, we might as well just,
Not a problem. All right, so it's at this point that we're going to take ourselves a 10 to 15 minute break, and when we come back, we will find out whose tide change is going to impact the story. So, once again, check out the Tides of Change Facebook page, and we will see you guys in 15. as we're just waiting a few more minutes on the other the voting to kind of have to conclude, I would just like to take this time again to say that please check out the Tides of Change role-playing game club on Facebook. It's a great place where people who love the Fantasy Flight Star Wars game to get together and just enjoy playing the game. You'll find a lot of very helpful people there who are more than happy to assist if you're a first-time player, and even if you're a seasoned veteran of Fantasy Flight games, Star Wars, and you just want to get into a game, maybe you might find it difficult. Please check it out. We do a lot of things over Google Hangouts. There's quite a few apps, and again, it's a great place for everyone to kind of just get together and just have some fun. And I know that I'm having a great time. I'm 11 sessions in with these incredible players, and I'm really happy to be able to have a chance to play with these guys. So, you know, it's my pleasure. I suggest if you guys ever want to, you know, if you want to go in and maybe this is, you know, your first time watching it or your first time thinking about getting into Fantasy Flight Star Wars, I really suggest it. It's a fun time, and it's a great group of people on the Tides of Change club. So definitely check it out. Also, I would like to also say that on October 29th, Brigade Con is coming to an internet near you. It's a 24-hour charity event where it's an online con, and it's free to enter, free to play in games. There'll be panels and discussions. There'll be all sorts of things, all relating to Brigade Con. And what's the best part is that it's a chance for people to donate to a great cause. It's for Child's Play, and it's for getting children who are either very, very sick or living in homes, in like abusive homes, or who need to get away from it. And it gives them a chance to have games, kind of build them up and make them happy. And I'm telling you, I mean, I love tabletop role-playing games, and the fact that I would be able to do that and help children like that, it's a win-win. Like, that's kind of a no-brainer. So, you know, check that out. It's coming October 29th. There is a Brigade Con YouTube channel. There's also the brigadecon.org, which I will probably add to the description in this video post production. So definitely, please check that out, because that is something that is it's great. It's to help kids, and I mean, who doesn't want to help kids? You know, it's just a fantastic event. So I'm just going to double check to see where we're at, and it looks like Varric is our winner of today, which is good, because I would have hated to have seen you guys die in a firefight, and, well, things would have just gotten all kinds of awkward. Is there anything else that anyone else wants to announce before we jump into it, or any questions or concerns or anything? No? Okay.
Does that mean we still can't have a firefight?
There very well could still be a firefight. I would just have to get on the horn to Mr. Willem Dafoe so he can give me his announcement of there was a firefight. But, you know, unfortunately, that is something we'll have to get to at a later point in time. Okay. The three of you walk in. The cantina seems to be rather quiet. There's virtually no one around, as was stated in the Tide Change. The bar, though, is still relatively neat. You think that a cantina that is run by gang members, would be covered in graffiti and the place looks like trash, but it's actually very well maintained, very well kept. The tables have all been bussed. If the tables weren't pushed pretty much to almost one end of the cantina, and it is a fairly spacious cantina. There's you see 5 individuals on their knees, their hands behind their backs. Right behind them, you see 5 individuals with heavy blaster pistols trained on them. As you are coming in, Celine and Kojamal, you hear someone, or at least what looks to be kind of I guess the person in charge of this group. And if you didn't botch that up, if you didn't make a Bantha Poodoo mess out of the whole damn thing, they would be dead, and we would have been able to carry on. You don't understand. None of the 5 of you do. We have to keep control of this place. We got to make sure Cambrielle is safely under our jackboot, and if not, things get messy. And you know the boss doesn't like messy. So sorry to do this, but looks like you boys are getting fired. And he kind of looks at the other 4 as he's also training a blaster pistol. Looks at the other 4, and they kind of nod their heads and they raise their weapons to the backs of all their heads. You see your brother Kojamal is among one of them that is to be shot. He's on his knees and he's kind of looking straight ahead, and he locks eyes with you for a moment, and there's this look of shocked recognition. What would you guys like to do?
As soon as we walk in the door and we see this scene, and the details of the scene sink in on Kojamal, of course there's a look of horror on his face, and the idea that his brother might be executed momentarily. And when his brother looks at him and sees him, that look of pause and horror that he's feeling is suddenly replaced by denial and anger. Like, there's no way he's going to let this happen. Not after coming this far, finally finding him again after losing him before. And he's just going to yell his brother's name, and unless someone stops him, he's going to pull out his blaster and he's going to fire a shot right at the guy who's got a gun to his brother's head. That's what Kojamal's going to do. We'll see what the other guys do.
Yeah, there is that too.
There'll be a soft whisper from the shadows from behind near the door as Varric draws his vibro swords, and he begins running forward.
So I will say right now, Cantina is fairly well lit. So once you step through that door, people can see you. So.
Yeah, I'm not trying to stealth at this point.
Okay.
I'm just trying to
Rush
close the distance. Yeah.
Sushify some dudes.
As for Celine, sort of still in this sort of like haze of sort of like anger about this vision he had and these guys trying to kill him earlier. Initially, he's just sort of like stood there with his arms folded, thinking, "Wow, that's 5 less of them we've got to deal with." And then
Thanks,
at sort of the last minute, he'll see like Kojima like pulling out his gun, and he'll be like, "Oh, here it goes."
Thanks, buddy.
And so, are you going to be pulling out your blaster as well, or are you just going
to? I will sort of have my blaster, but I'll have it in like one hand, sort of under my arm, so I'm still there with like my arms folded, but so I can just like, if I need to.
So as soon as you shout your brother's name, as soon as you shout Okrev, the one that was talking looks, sees you starting to run towards him with your blaster drawn, and forget them, kill them, and we're gonna have everyone roll initiative.
Yeah, just to clarify, I'm not even moving first. I'm just pulling out and aiming and firing at the guy.
Oh, okay. Sorry, I don't know why I thought you were gonna run towards him.
Varric is rushing in. Yeah, Varric's the one running in.
Okay, yeah. See, not smart. That's fine. That's my bad.
Okay.
Okay, so Varric, you start rushing. Kojamal, I want to give you a shot off. You're probably about anywhere between short and medium range band between them. So it'll just be a difficulty of 2 to hit this guy, because the guy's on his knees, so he doesn't really have like you've got like a torso and a head to shoot at. So it'll be difficulty of 2.
Okay. So since I didn't move, I'm going to use my aim, and Kojamal's just so focused on saving his brother and stopping that trigger from being pulled that he's just totally in the zone. He's lining up that shot, and he's going to do a true aim as well. And
you really want this dude to die.
Yeah, I want to save my brother.
He sure is dead.
He might be a bad brother, but he's still my brother. So he's 3 successes, 2 advantages.
Yeah, you take this guy out. Like, you put a hole quite neatly through his skull, through his cranium, and he just falls backward and just kind of hits the ground. Doesn't even get a shot off. Like, it's just basically he goes from standing, his whole body just goes rigid, and he like completely falls like perfectly back and hits the ground.
And the gun smoke's still coming out of the hole in his head.
Yep.
Perfect.
All right, so.
Is this vigilance or cool for the initiative?
Okay, so this will be cool.
Cool? Okay. Which is not very cool. It's not shooting guns. I got a 0 and nothing, so I'll be last.
That's okay. You know what? You.
I got basically it's fitting because I just took an action right now, so.
Exactly.
I'll be last in the actual initiative order.
Precisely. So it's on you there, Varric. Just wait for you to get your stuff in.
Yeah, I rolled. I got 2 successes and an advantage.
Oh, I'm sorry. Okay, I saw it a little bit down there. Okay, then you are definitely going first.
So I assume that they're close enough that I can close.
Yeah, I mean, the cantina itself is basically just like a typical rectangular shape, like the opening. As you're running down the side, there's no tables to get in your way, so it's not like you have to try and like meander around anything. You just got like a beeline straight for the guy, and you can just start taking one out. So as you go in, like you kind of surprise the guy. Because he's kind of focused. He's trying to focus on the guy with the blaster, and then like kind of at the last minute, he kind of looks. He sees you there, so it'll be a difficulty of 2 for you to melee him.
Okay, so melee 2/2. I get 1. Where's my window? Too many windows. Okay, and I'm actually taking another difficulty because as I've got 2 swords, attempting to be able to use both. So it adds a difficulty, and then I have to get at least 1 advantage to be able to hit with the second weapon.
Gotcha.
This will be the first field test of his new weapon, so this should be interesting. No good.
Okay. So although he like instinctively reacts and kind of like moves out of the way, what he does end up doing is he ends up backing up with 5 advantage. He ends up backing up and actually stumbling over the guy he was going to shoot, but he hits the other guy with the blaster, the heavy blaster pistol, falls right on top of him. So they both are going to need to require their next action to get up, so they can't shoot. With 5 advantage, I'd say that's pretty fair. Yeah. Okay, so next up is going to be next up is going to be Celine.
Okay, so as this shooting breaks out, I'm effectively going to sort of duck down behind one of the tables, using it for cover, then sort of like popping up over the top of it with my sort of light blaster pistol. I'm going to quickly take aim at one of these guys that has just been knocked over by Varric and just
Okay. The tables are kind of like they're metal. They're not made of wood, and they do have a little bit of weight to them. So if you could just make me a quick athletics check, it'll probably be a difficulty of about 2. Just kind of like see if you can upend it, or are you just gonna like
No, it's
okay.
not happened.
you
I'll
you
still hunker behind it, but
Sure. Yeah, you try and flip it over so you kind of get kind of a half cover somewhat. I mean, someone can probably still kind of shoot at you. So just make your attack as normal.
okay. I'm hoping since I'm shooting at one of the ones that Varric's knocked over, I can take one of his advantages as a boost.
You most certainly can. Yeah, I'll give you a boost die on that one. It'll be difficulty of 2 because
Okay.
guys on the ground too.
And I'm taking half an aim as well. So that's 2 successes and 4 advantages.
Okay, so you tell me how you take this guy out.
Okay, so I slide behind the table with my shoulder to it, try pushing against it, but it's fixed firmly into the ground. So I quickly realise that's not going to wash and just pop up over the top of the table. See this guy hit the deck as Varric sort of bowls him over as he tries to get out of the way of him. So track him as he falls down, then just. And as I shoot him, he sort of rolls over with the force of the blast into one of the guys behind him, perhaps giving the other guy's chance to capitalise on that and take advantage of it.
All right, sounds good. And next up is the thugs. One of them is going to take a kind of a sense of like panic at seeing the guy right beside him die, Kojamal. He's just gonna kind of aim and he's gonna take a shot at you.
Sure.
Okay.
Yeah.
And it just it gets close though. I mean, you kind of almost feel the heat off that blaster fire go back and just sink into the wall. Kind of as a surprise, you're standing out in the open, getting shot at. So it definitely wakes you up. And the one that you didn't kill, Celine, he kind of pushes him off using his movement and gets up, but he finds cover around the bar and he like takes aim, gets ready to shoot. So he's kind of readying himself. Meanwhile, the 5 guys on the ground, they realize that they're in the middle of a firefight with no weapon, with their hands behind their back. So all of them kind of like fall to the ground, making themselves as flat of targets as possible. And that's 2. That's 1. So the one more is going to take a shot at you, Celine. That should be the last one. Actually, I'm going to go. Yeah. Okay, and he does find purchase as he kind of gets you right in the shoulder. You take 7 damage.
Okay, not a problem. So my armour absorbs 1 of that, but it's still a sort of fairly like meaty hit on my shoulder because I've like popped up to take the shot. You hear sort of like a cry of pain as I fall back down by the table. Like, "Argh!"
Okay, and then now Kojamal, you are now up. So you see 2 of the thugs are dead. One of them has gone behind some cover. And one of them was just standing up there, not knowing what else to do. Just took a fire, just hit Celine in the shoulder.
Okay, so Kojamal was previously, as I said before, really intent and focused on protecting his brother. He almost doesn't even notice that blaster shot that just whizzes past him. That's almost how reckless he is at the moment because of his emotional state. But he hears Salen cry out, and he glances over and sees Salen get hit in the shoulder, and he looks back over at the one who shot him, and his blaster just swivels over, and still in the zone, he just lines up and takes a shot at that guy, just almost like snarling with his anger. What's the difficulty? 2 still?
Yeah, it'd be a difficulty of 2. Because this guy is just standing out in the open.
Yep. That's 1, 2, 3, 5 success, a triumph, and an advantage. So I think that guy goes flying backwards too.
You know, okay, so he's dead. I mean,
Yeah.
we can all agree that the man is clearly dead.
Yeah.
He's so dead his kids felt it. With the okay, so what do you want to do for the triumph? Like, how do you want to dictate it? Because clearly you killed this man, but what happens?
With the triumph, it's depending on of course what you want to do here with this, but I'm thinking either one of two things. Either they scatter and run deeper into the building, because I guess the canteen is attached to the hotel, so they could go into the building, or it allows the 5 guys, the victims, potential victims, it allows them to escape somehow, like if they want to come towards us or if they want to go somewhere else. But there's this momentary, basically there's a reprieve in the fire when everybody's just kind of shocked at that how fast these guys are dropping, and the other guys are hiding behind cover. The 5 guys can do something. So it's up to you, whichever one you think's better for the story that you want to do.
You know what? It's your triumph. Whatever you want to do. It's your triumph. Like you tell me what happens, because you rolled that crit success. So it's all on you, buddy.
Okay. Well, let's say that they scatter. Then they're gonna flee. The remaining, there's only like 2 guys left.
There's one guy left now.
One? Okay, yeah, sure. He's gonna run then.
Yeah. So I mean, he realizing very quickly that he's outgunned, even though that there's less of him, or less of you guys than there are of him. At least not anymore. There was. He kind of just stops, and then he just starts trying to bolt, but because he's actually relatively close, Varric, you can give yourself kind of like an attack of op. Normally I know it's not the same system, but it kind of gives you that, like, he's really close to you, you could actually just sit there and swipe out with a sword.
Not so fast.
And sorry, that's difficulty of 2.
Okay. Yep. 2, 1. Difficulty. So it's success, advantage, and triumph.
Okay, well.
So can I actually, with that triumph, can I choose not to kill him?
Interesting.
And basically what the idea is as he goes running by me, passing by my left side, I spin around to my right, dropping to a crouch as I spin, and basically hamstring him.
Nice.
Ow,
and he falls forward to the floor, screaming in pain, but unable to do much more than like drag himself. He wants to try to escape.
Okay. Yeah, he hits the ground, actually even skids a bit, because he took off on a good clip pace before you took his leg out from under him. And then he just hits the ground, kind of scrapes along the floor, and he's trying to look back, and he just sees like this nasty wound just open right up in his leg, and he's trying to pull himself. Leaving his heavy blaster pistol behind, he's still trying to pull himself away from the rest of you. And I totally just rolled a crit success. So D20s for the win, right? Actually, I have no idea what I just rolled there, but
sounded impressive.
Huh. Actually, it was 2 6s on 2d6. So there you go. But that's not the right Star Wars. We don't even talk about that Star Wars anymore because it's not licensed. So anyway, as he's pulling himself away, combat is definitely over. You still have the 5 individuals who are binded. They have their hands bound behind their backs. and you have 4 dead, 1 critically injured Raltiri tiger.
Well, Kojima is definitely going to rush over to his brother, and he will just remove the bonds. I don't know, the binders or whatever. If they're just rope or something, he'll cut them. If he can remove them, he'll do that. And first thing he'll do is help his brother up.
Okay.
And,
oh, sorry.
no, it's okay.
Oh.
Like, he's going to talk to him, but I'll let the other guys do something first.
Sure. Yeah. So you unbind him and you help him up. What about you, Celine?
I'll be sort of like looking around and then realizing the firefight's finished as the sound of the blaster fire dies down. I'll be climbing up from behind the table, like jabbing a stim pack into my injured shoulder as I do so, and I'll go, "Well, it seems like talking's off the table then."
What a badass. Okay, awesome. And Varric, what are you doing?
Varric, after finishing his spin, his cloak whispering softly as it cuts through the air, he'll rise to his full height, giving his blade a flick, sending the blood spraying across the floor as he slowly moves after the man that's trying to escape. And he'll just like walk up beside him and look down and kind of tap him on the shoulder with the blade. That looks like that hurts.
You bastard! You wait. You wait. They're gonna come, and you're dead men. You're all dead men.
Varric will reach his free hand into his pocket and pull out a stim pack and kind of hold it up and cock his head, and he said, "Do you want to be nice, or do you want to run your mouth?"
You're gonna kill me anyway. What does it matter?
Well, there's more than one way to die.
As Varric's saying this to sort of like back up his intimidation, I'm going to walk over to where this guy's like crawling over, and I'll just sort of like put my foot on his back, not to like squash him into the floor or anything. I'll have my gun pointed at him, and then I'll just go, "Trust me, I've seen the future. This encounter doesn't end well for you if you don't play nice."
Fine.
So
Fine. What do you want to know?
If it's anywhere close, I'll kick the blaster away.
It's not. Like, he crawled probably a good 10 feet away from the blaster, but...
So I'll crouch down, adding my knee to his back with Celine's foot as I stab him in the back of the thigh with the stim pack where the wound is.
And, you know, he's...
You
can just feel that, yeah. And he's just like, he's just nodding his head as he's breathing. As you can feel the back tip just beginning to surge through his leg, and already, the wound begins to start, the blood just like instantly kind of hardens up, and it just begins to kind of like slowly kind of just heal itself just a little bit, just enough. Yeah. Yeah. What do you want to know?
Why don't you help me with our new friend here, Celine, as he moves to pick him up and take him over to a chair?
Yeah, I'll assist Varric sort of carrying this guy over to the chair.
And I'll make a show of kind of like straightening his shirt, dusting his shoulders off, and sitting him down.
As he sits down, look, I get that I'm a dead man anyway. If it's not you, then the tigers will kill me as all the same, but...
Well, the tigers aren't here at the minute, we are.
If you cooperate, I have no pressing urge to end you.
Alright, well, let's make this quick. You shot up the place enough that there's going to be people coming down soon enough.
Well,
Well, I
if you
wanted-
talk to us, apologies, Varric. If you play nice with us, we have a ship. Maybe we could get you off this planet.
Maybe. Look, just let's hurry up. I don't want to stay here any longer than I have to.
Why were those men sent after us? As he nods with his head towards Komodo, his brother, and the other men.
Look, Doc, son. That's why. The
And what are
the boss didn't want you interfering in his business.
And what business is that?
Look, I don't know. A low man on a totem pole. By the gods, I don't even have a name. It's true, I don't have a name for this guy. I mean, look, I'm just a low-level guy. They said, here, take out your heavy blaster pistol. We're gonna take some chaff away from this operation. They said there were some people that botched a job. Well, in this business, if you botch a job, chances are you're gonna get killed. And well, they botched it pretty hard. And they're gonna get killed.
Who would know what this business is?
Well, Doc's son would. I mean, works for the boss. And well, the boss himself. Yeah, you might want to check. There's another lad. He's kind of high up. His name's Tierlach. He's a big lad. Find him. He gets to know more about the operation than most of us.
So is there some kind of secret handshake or code word that we can use to...
Look, there's over 500 members of the Raltiri Tigers in this building as we speak. You want to go up there? By all means. But I'll tell you this right now. 500 against the three of you? I would take my chances against a crate dragon hand-to-hand by myself.
I'll come walking back over from where I've just sort of wandered off to pick up this heavy blaster pistol and lean back down so I'm sort of level with this guy's face. And then I'll say, never mind all that at the minute. Tell me about the girl.
What girl?
The one in the tower.
The what? Well, I mean, I think it's... well, there's some Twi'lek dancing girls that the boss has. I mean...
No, I don't mean that. I mean a young girl.
He kind of looks at you kind of like, the hell are you trying to say? It kind of that there's no young girl here. I don't know who you mean.
She's in danger and we need to get to her. And as he's saying this, Celine's like getting obviously more and more sort of aggressive and more sort of angry towards this person he's questioning. Sort of gesturing with his heavy blaster he's holding.
Whoa, hang on. If there's a girl here, a young girl, some sort of child, I mean, quite a few of the Raltiri Tigers, they have their families in here, wives and children, husbands and children and whatnot.
Okay, I know I've never seen like the girl's face, but I've seen the sort of the rest of how she looks. It's like just she's had no face. So I'm going to try and give a description of how she looks, but not mentioning her face because I've not seen that. See if that twigs any memories for him.
Sure. So as far as you can tell, she seemed like this girl seems to be teenager, at least in body shape and height. She seems to be of a height. She's probably about, I mean, if I were to throw a height out there, like, 5'6". So, like a fairly actually average height, fairly tall for a younger person, younger teenager. One thing you also realize, though, is that when you looked at her, even though she had no face, her skin and her hands and everything else, all of her skin is blue.
I'll give him that description. I won't go into the sort of teenage stuff because I don't really understand like human growth cycles. It would just be like the height, the skin color, etc.
Sure. I don't know. I mean, we were each tiger is assigned a certain amount of floors they're allowed to go in. All the tigers are allowed here. This is kind of the mess, the cantina. It's where we go in to have a few drinks and talk about things.
I know what a cantina is.
Right. Well, no. Hey. I'm just trying to give you as much information so I can leave before I get shot.
So during this exchange,
actually, we sorry, and yeah, no, we are gonna. So as you take off the manacles, Akrev, he kind of rubs his like thick wrists and looks at you and kind of smiles. And
one thing that would have happened is when, as soon as they made contact with each other, like as soon as Kojima touched Akrev, the Weequay communicate with other Weequay using the pheromones, and especially among family members and clan members, anybody who they somewhat have a relationship to or intimate with, they always communicate with the pheromones initially. So he would do that automatically, especially with his brother. As soon as they make contact, he releases his pheromones, and as I said before, it's kind of like sensations, images, smells, sounds, that kind of thing. That it's like memories almost, as the pheromones are picked up by Akrev, and what Akrev feels. Well, first thing he sees in his mind is a memory of a copper-colored sea and the sun, a bright sun glinting off of that sea, and he feels that hot sun just burning, and the heat coming off the sand underneath his feet. He can smell not only the salt and that coppery in the air, but he also smells like a leather, and he sees some drums, big, huge drums, and there's a cavern underneath a cliff, and there's this sound that's very rhythmical of these drums, beating of these drums, and as these drums beat, the sound kind of echoes through this canyon, and the sound kind of reverbs back and forth, and it adds layers to this rhythm, and it becomes almost musical and very hypnotic. And this is a memory that Akrev knows very well, and this is something that Kojima knows very well, something they share together, and he'll just let that, and the sound of children laughing, and he'll let that pass over to Akrev. And just as he smiles back at his brother, and his eyes almost glistening with tears of relief, having found him again.
And as Akrev looks at you and smiles, you get he kind of gestures back with these pheromones, and you get this sense of this same sand and desert oppressive heat, but there's another type of heat. It's blaster fire, and it's explosions, and it's warfare and fighting, and you get this sense of being alone, being abandoned, and just this acrid tang of blood in your mouth, as he turns around and he punches you hard in the face, about as hard as he possibly can in the face, and you take 5 wounds right to the jaw. Also, you stumble back and fall over even a table, and you hear him like in this dazed state. You want to send me pictures of the temple? Maybe you should not have left me for dead.
And Kojamal doesn't resist, even though he can see the blow coming. He doesn't fight back. He doesn't even try. He just lets his brother hit him, and a feeling of guilt wells up in Kojamal, and even as he picks himself up off the table, just wiping the blood from his mouth and spitting it out. And he says, "Brother, I thought you were dead. I had no idea. I heard the palace was attacked. I kept track of you all these years, but I thought you were dead in the attack. I had no idea. I would have come for you sooner had I known."
Maybe you should have checked instead of running away like coward. You left me on the burning sands. If it was not for others, scavengers, picked me up, I would have left there and my bones would have caressed the hot sand. But they brought me to life. They brought me back. And I traveled with them. Eventually I came here to Raltir. I wanted to get with a family, a real family, a family who would not abandon me.
Who's the coward? Who abandoned who? You left the temple. You became a criminal. Then
I left.
You became a fugitive, and you left.
You thought I was dead. You left me for dead. I was on the sand, bleeding out. You say we are family. Family does not leave family. But there you are. You left me. And I was left to fend for myself.
I did leave you. After our parents were killed, I was the older brother. I was responsible for us. I did my best to take care of us. I didn't do a very good job, and I did let you go when you left Srila and you went to Tatooine. I should have done more. I should have stopped you. I should have been a better brother. I don't know what. I just know I shouldn't have let you go.
You should not have taken the burden upon yourself. You were the older brother, yes, but we could have both shared in the responsibility.
Hearing this I was going to say, hearing this going on, and obviously having realised that Kojima was just been like knocked backwards over a table, which I presume was fairly loud. I'm just going to like shout over from where we're interrogating that guy, and I'll go, "Yes, Kojima, maybe you should have lined him up on the floor and prepared to shoot him in the back of the head like his precious new family."
And how does Akarev respond to that? Does he react
kind of
with hostility towards Sailor?
He kind of shoots him a pretty like daggering look, and they do not accept failure. This new family.
Look at brother, you've made mistakes. You know what they were, and I'll take responsibility for the mistakes that I've made. I never thought we would have this chance again. We have a second chance right now. We can make things right, and we can make better choices. I'm with the Rebel Alliance now. I'm with a good squad. These are good men. You don't have to be a part of this. You can be a part of something better. Join us. Come with us. Leave here. Leave these Raltiri tigers. Make a better life so this doesn't happen to you. I don't want to lose you again.
Well, at least help me get these others up. And he kind of bends down and starts lifting up the other compatriots on the skiff.
So,
you see basically like three other humans and not a Serene, excuse me, a Twi'lek. And they all get up. Their hands are still bound. Some of them with manacles, some of them with just rope. So he's untying it. Well, you don't know these people, and hours ago they tried to kill you, like me. You wish to offer them the same?
Tell us what you can about these Waltiri tigers. And I'll look at Salen again and I'll say, do they have a girl, a young girl? Have you
With
seen
blue
one?
skin.
A blue-skinned adolescent.
The one human kind of. Hey, wait. Yes, no, yes, yes. Okay. Listen. I remember this one time. I had to go in to the upper floors with the boss, right? And check this. As I was walking into the office, this young bloody hell. What's that race with the blue skin? Chess. Yeah, this young chess girl. She comes out of the office, and I mean, she's walking out of there like she's running the place. It's kind of weird, to be quite perfectly honest with you, but didn't think nothing of it. Thought maybe she was just a new dancing girl or something. I don't know. Maybe even a contact or some sort of a spy. Boss is really good at using spies. So, not sure, but yeah, there was this young chess girl. I don't know, I mean, chess age funny. Not like humans or Twi'leks or whatnot. They turn into adults younger, but they don't live as long. Something like that. Anyway, I just remember seeing a young chess girl walking out of the office, so I don't know who it is, though.
Kojima will glance at Salen.
I need to get to those upper floors, Kojima.
Which one of the guys was that was talking?
It was just one of the individuals that was going to get executed.
Okay.
One of the victims.
Yeah. So, seeing that they have some people that are cooperating, Varric will turn down to the guy in the chair and go, "So, what is it? Are you going to help us, or do you want to stay with your people?"
I just want to go, mate. I just want to walk through that door and leave.
He's not walking anywhere.
Well,
He's not walking anywhere.
I think it would be a little suspicious for you and a little amateur on our part to let you just walk out of here. Lift up your chin.
Fine, make it quick. And he just kind of lifts it up and kind of even like leans to one side, just kind of giving you like lining it up so perfectly that you don't even need to roll. If I'm thinking what you're thinking, just gonna knock him out.
Yeah, and there'll be a brief glint on the vibro knucklers as he connects with the jaw, knocks him unconscious, dumps him out of the chair, and throws a chair. Maybe gives him another punch in the ribs, basically trying to sell that he resisted and was taken out.
Gotcha.
Yep.
And you do. I mean, you work. You hit him the first time, and that knocks him out right away. So he doesn't really feel the the couple of side shots, and he's out. The other four that are, I guess, being unbound by Akrev, kind of see it and like, we don't want no trouble. We don't want no trouble. I was helping you out.
And when Salen turns to Kojima and says, I need to get up to those upper floors, Kojima will put a hand on his shoulder and say, you helped me find my brother. I'll help you find the girl.
Thank you.
And he'll turn to his brother and say, is there any way you know of that we can get up there without shooting our way up 100 floors? Is there any maintenance routes or secret passages, anything?
Well, there are a few service elevators that go up, but they only go up so many floors before you have to go to another service elevator. There are some elevators in the lobby. you might be able to go. And as he's saying that, you kind of hear this, like almost like through a PA system. I've got rats in my building.
Does that voice sound familiar to me by any chance?
Sounds very familiar to you. Looks like I've got me a turncoat. Looks like I've got me a Weequay. Some sort of cloaked fella and a squiddy. Well, I know what you've come up here for, because the three of you work for the rebels. Was wondering when they were going to send a hit squad. Well, come on up.
We're not here to kill you.
Oh, but we're here to kill you.
How's that going for you so far?
Just you wait, boy. Just you wait, Squiddy.
Don't worry, I'm sure I'll make the right decision when it comes down to it.
We'll see about that. But come in. I've got plenty of people waiting to say hello to you. And the PA or the set, like the comms, I guess, wink out. Akrev looks at the three of you. Well, I don't know what you want to do, but I would suggest caution.
We don't want to fight our way up there, but we have business with this Claw or Dark Sun or whatever he's calling himself, whoever he is.
Oh, Dark Sun. Dark Sun is a slicer. He is, unfortunately, well under the heel of the boss.
And is he up there?
The boss is up there, yes. So is Dark Sun. Dark Sun is probably locked in some sort of an office or something. We've never seen him. We've heard of him, and we've seen his power and his abilities, and he is like, what are these old monks, the Jedi? He's like a Jedi, but with computers. Very impressive. Very impressive. But this is all upon you. So go, if you wish, go into the lobby. Hopefully there is no one in there. Once you go into the lobby, you will see a bank of elevators going straight up. There's a chance that you might be cut off at a certain floor. It is what he likes to do. Also, be very careful. The reason why they are called Raltiri Tigers is because he has Raltiri Tigers. They are dangerous predators, extremely dangerous. Be careful. Other than that, yes.
Do you have a safe place you can go to?
Yes.
After this, I'll get help from the Rebel Alliance. We can find you a sanctuary, but I just need you to be safe until we can finish our business here.
I know of a safe house, but if there's a place that you would suggest that we go instead, I will go there.
And I'll say, okay, give me a moment, and I'll step aside with Varric and Salen, and I'll say, what do you think? Is there anywhere we can we send him back to the HQ, or
see if we can
shuttle? Where could he go?
See if we can get HQ to send him up to our vessel. Mercer and the rest can look after them up there.
I think so too. That's the best option.
Then maybe once this mess is dealt with, assuming we all survive, we can get them out of here aboard the ship.
Okay. Mike, due to the timing constraints, would there be a way that we could reliably do that without making the actual call ourselves, since it looks like we're imminently going to be entering this building? Like, could I give him essentially a phone number that he can call, and I'll say, tell him who you are, who I am?
Yes. Yeah, you can give him a frequency to kind of like a secure a bit more of a secure line, at least to the rebel base in Cambriel, and he can name drop and do what he has to do to get sent up to the Gallifrey, which eventually you guys are going to name. Eventually, doesn't have to be right now, but eventually. So send it up to your transport. There's Gazanti. Gee, I've been saying it the wrong. Gazanti. Jeez. So yes, you can send him on his way. As they're going, your brother and the guy who gave you guys the information, they both come up to you guys. Did you take care of the guards in the front?
Not yet.
If you don't mind, if we could have at least a pistol or two, perhaps.
I think we can call in. Do you think we can call in the limo service?
Well, and the guys that we took out had pistols too that they could take.
Yes,
That's true.
As Varric says, take some of the pistols from the people on the floor there. I'll hand them the sort of like the thing with the frequency for the taxi firm on. Get a taxi from these people. Follow Kojima's instructions. You'll be taken to somewhere safe.
Understood.
Wait for us on our transport.
Understood.
Please be safe, brother, until we get back.
And they all check the blaster pistols. The one of them grabs what looks to be like a communicator out of the one that was giving the orders for them to be killed. Pulls out a communicator that this individual had, kind of gives him a kick in the head, even though you've already killed him, but just for good measure. Thank you. We'll be on your ship. I don't think a lot of us have experience with flying, but I mean most of us are good shots, and I know I was piloting the skiff when we were shooting at you. Sorry about that, but I'm a pretty good skiff pilot. Yeah?
Good enough. Get yourselves out of here and get safe.
Right. And they take off.
When he brings up the whole skiff incident, a low noise, much like a growl, rumbles from beneath Varric's hood. But after a moment, he simply turns and walks away from the man.
Nice.
Varric, would you do me a favor? Could you take out any surveillance cameras there might be in this room, so we can at least have a moment to talk without them listening in on us?
So I'll see if I can take a look and spot any cameras or other devices.
Sure. So make me a perception check. It'll be a difficulty of 3. Also, actually, we'll make that 2 purple and 1 red. Seeing as how there's a lot of stuff all over the place, and like virtually anything could really be a camera, so you just don't know.
Yeah,
And audio equipment too. They could have hidden audio equipment anywhere.
Hey man, don't make it harder on yourself. If you want to, that's fine.
Not just thematic flavor.
By the way, that stuffed head of a Rancor, yeah, it's secretly 4 heavy blaster rifles.
Wow, so 4 successes and 2 threat.
So you managed to find a couple of the smaller cameras. Even ones that almost seem to be out of the way. Like, one of them's kind of just behind a light. You can just barely see the little red blinking light of the camera on, and you're like, oh yeah, it's taking your vibro sword. You kind of just like bat it away like an insect and just kill it. And however, as you're taking out one of the obvious cameras, you take one out, and the open doors to the lobby that just it says like lobby or lobby access, those doors suddenly slam shut, and you just get this kind of so it almost sounds like they're like magnetically sealed. and the front doors to the cantina, the door that you came into, the front door like closes and magnetically locks itself as well. And then you hear a voice again. Oh, come now. Did you really think I was going to make it easy on you, fellas? No. I'm not going to make it easy on you at all. You want me, you're going to have to work for it. And boys, you're going to work for it. And you begin to hear a hissing as some type of a smoke is starting to fill the room itself. And that's where we're going to end it tonight. I know, right? You're like, oh, you son of a bitch.
Can I just say real quick,
Sure.
as soon as he hears the hiss, Varric reaches beneath his robes and pulls out his
Respirator.
his Aquita rebreather, and slips it on.
See? One person did it. No one else. No, you see, that's the thing. There you go, folks. If you're playing Star Wars, always have yourself a rebreather. Always. Just always bring, because you never know when some GM...
Someone's going to gas you.
Water.
Water, yeah.
They're going to get you some way.
You just never know. All right, well, a special, massive, huge thank you to all three of our players tonight. Absolutely fantastic job, as per usual. What we're going to do is I'm just going to go from my left to my right, as per. Coach Jamal, if you can just give yourself an outro and plug all your stuff, that would be great.
Yeah, I just want to say thank you to you, Mike, and thank you, my fellow players, and thank you for everyone who watched. It was another great session of Heart of the Empire, and looking forward to our next game, which will hopefully be more regular.
Indeed, we're going to get a proper schedule in, and this will definitely be a bi-weekly event. So that's definitely what I'm aiming for. But anyway, my apologies. Celine, if you could please.
Yeah, I've been John from Red Dice Diaries, playing Celine Naval, the Quarren pilot / Force user. Very much enjoyed the game. I'm looking forward to seeing how the plot line with the girl is going to unfold and what her identity and how she fits into this picture is going to develop. Great role play by the guys. Thoroughly enjoyed it.
Definitely. And of course, Varric, if you could please do the same.
I'm Dennis. I played Varric, assassin, Force user, and I'm looking forward to the next Die Hard episode of the Heart of the Empire.
Awesome. So thank you to my three phenomenal players. I would say four phenomenal, but of course, unfortunately, one was unable to make it tonight. He's also phenomenal. I'm just happy, so happy to be running a game for these guys. It's been fantastic. And how did I get these great players? It's all the Tides of Change Role-Playing Game Club on Facebook. I'm going to beat that horse until it's extra dead, double dead. I'm going to kill that horse to death. So, by all means, check it out. Check out Brigade Con. Check out these guys' channels as well. What the Dice, Red Dice Diaries. Damn it, Dennis, get a channel. Get a channel so I can, come on.
Yeah, that's long overdue.
I know, right? Yeah, you're a phenomenal role player, a great GM. Come on, get on that. You're fired. But anyway, ladies and gentlemen, everyone who's watching, thank you so much for jumping into the session today. I've had a blast. I'm Mike. Like, comment, subscribe to these guys' channels, and when you've done all that, you can subscribe to mine as well and check out Brigade Con. So until then, this is Mike the Piper telling you guys to get inspired. Thanks a lot.